Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. Am I about to do a video on Jeffree Star and Dahvie Vanity wearing a multicolored shark pajama shirt? That is a yes. So, let's get into this. Did Jeffree Star know or see something illegal going on between Dahvie Vanity and minor-aged children? And if he did or if he didn't, why did he choose to go back on tour with Dahvie Vanity's band, Blood on the Dance Floor, a year after he had denounced him and said that he was sick and disgusting and called him the P word, you finish the word. I don't want to say it because I don't want this video to get removed. So people have questions about these things, about his involvement, and we're going to find out the answers to those today because we take a look at the tea with the tarot on this channel and people have asked about it. So I like to tell everybody, first and foremost, I'm a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive. This is what we do on this channel, looking at the tea with the tarot. These videos are always meant to be helpful and not hateful, so please don't spread hate to anybody on here. If you're down with that, then join the family. Join the family. Let's get into this. So, I was not going to cover this. I was not going to talk about this, but I've had a lot of people ask a lot of questions wanting to know about Jeffree Star's involvement because people were saying it doesn't make sense. Let me be the first person to say two things. One, everything that I talk about in this video is alleged, 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 alleged. This is just entertainment. It's alleged. And two, I want to say that admittedly, I haven't really looked at anything on this, which some people prefer that people who are going to read tarot cards, some people prefer that they haven't looked into it really, because they feel like, oh, if you look into it too much, you'll be biased, you know, whatever. Some people feel that way. I'll withhold my own opinions on that, but I just wanted to make it known that I have not researched this to all be damned. I have not looked it up and done a lot of searching on this. I've been real busy in this quarantine time, so I haven't had the opportunity to look too deep down the rabbit hole on this, but I imagine if you're clicking on this video, it's possible that you have looked down the rabbit hole. So I figure we'll take a look at the cards, see what they say, and if we can get any kind of information out of this. All that I do know, as a recap for those of you who may not, but I'm sure you do, I do know that apparently a lot of women have come forward accusing Dahvie Vanity, who is, I believe, the lead singer maybe of Blood on the Dance Floor, that they have accused him of inappropriate actions with underage individuals, meaning children. And people have sent me questions saying that they are wondering about Jeffree Star's involvement in this. People have said that he made tweets about seeing illegal things and calling Dahvie Vanity like disgusting, but then the next year saying, you know, everything's good and going back on tour with him. And then I want to say that I may have actually just seen on Twitter, please read me to filth if I'm wrong, that Jeffree Star has sent an exclusive message to Petty Page when she asked him about this, and he said, you know, no, any of those things, that's fake. I hope that he goes down for what he's done, and I, you know, don't condone it at all, and I think he's sick and disgusting. So now it's kind of like he's taking it back. It seems like he's flip-flopped, and people are wondering about this. What's the real thing going on here? What's true? So let's take a look at the cards, see what we can get. All alleged and only entertainment. So I've already shuffled the cards, but you know, can't hurt to shuffle them more. Everybody likes to see that I have shuffled because it makes people feel more comfortable. So I'm going to ask just one of these questions, but since Spirit knows that we're wondering about all of these things, it may just throw it out there all at once to me. And if that happens, then that happens. But first off, did Jeffree Star actually see something going on? Because some people are saying, you know, oh, he just wrote things like, oh, I saw this and it's disgusting and it's illegal and blah, 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 blah. That, oh, he just said that because he was mad at Dahvie Vanity or something and they were having a falling out, and that it wasn't, you know, he didn't really see anything or whatever. Just like how he said things about James Charles without having any actual proof, kind of thing. And so some people are saying he did it out of anger, and some folks are saying, no, he really saw something and he's just trying to take it back. So, let's see. Woo! First thing that comes out. Well, this is an interesting way to start this reading. This is a real interesting way to start. We're getting a lot of wands here, first of all. Now we've got some cups. We had some swords up there. Okay, so, again, you know, this is just for entertainment. This is alleged. But what I'm looking at here, the Page of Wands is purposeful in two different ways here. One way it's saying, okay, we're about to bring a message here, so we're going to talk about a message. But two, because pages represent young people. So usually when we're doing a reading about minor-aged individuals, we do see pages come into play. So we do see that here. If we're moving forward, what it's looking like here, the Three of Swords in reverse means, you know, something ending. Something can be ending in a way that is heartbreaking. Sometimes it means that you're getting over some sort of heartbreak. But in this case, with a reversal right next to it, this is kind of meaning something that isn't quite yet over. So something that is painful, like emotionally painful, not quite yet over. And we get a King of Wands in reverse. So this is this emotional thing that is painful and not quite over is because of a male. And because we have the King of Wands and it's in reverse, so that means it's somebody that's either in a disadvantaged position or somebody who was doing something wrong. So an underage minor, something emotionally painful, and a man, this is not a minor right here, this is not a minor, who's either disadvantaged or doing something wrong. So that's the first row. With the second row, you have chaotic energy going on, which doesn't necessarily mean chaotic as in mental illness or addiction and drugs and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean that, but it can mean a life that is, you know, too fast-paced and scattered, reckless even, types of energy. with the Six of Cups right next to it, and the Empress upright. The Six of Cups, as you can see, here's an adult handing a cup to a child. And cups in the tarot often refer to emotional things. So this is like kind of an emotional gift to someone younger. A lot of times this is kind of talking about nostalgia, history, the past, kind of a thing. So there's an emotional connection to the past. This to me is referring to kind of right now with Jeffree Star talking about the past, referring to the past. All of this stuff that we're talking about is talking about things from the past. Again, to my ignorant level of knowledge on this, because I haven't watched all these videos or gone down the rabbit hole on this. So this is something that is what this is saying, is this is a situation that we're referring to about the past. And because it's referring to the past, it's just simple. I mean, we asked specifically about Jeffree Star in the past. Did he actually see something going on? So this is our verification card. This is our clarifier right here. And then here with the Empress upright, that, I know it's an Empress, but an Empress is female, but this card right here is representing Jeffree Star, because Jeffree Star in this is, you know, a powerful, somewhat feminine energy, and I say that with all due respect. There's water in this card, and we know Jeffree is a water sign, being a Scorpio, and his card is in the upright position. So first and foremost, before we continue to pull more cards, what we're seeing is a confirmation that yes, something painful happened to a minor at the hands of some male who was not a minor because of scattered energy. This is a recollection of the past from Jeffree Star. So let's pull a little bit more cards to see kind of where this is going to take us. Interesting. Interesting. Wow, okay. Yeah, so moving on with the story. Since that last card was our Jeffree Star card, and we're moving on with that, then this card relates to him as well, because it's the next thing after. So Jeffree Star tried to start something new, and he had a fall from grace because of that. So this is kind of talking about the falling out that people are having about the fact that he went back on tour after something you know, sketchy happened, that he had called somebody out but then forgave them and went back on tour. Then you have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the Death card in reverse, and the Ten of Wands in reverse. So, all right. I'm gonna try to word this carefully, and again, this is all alleged, but this is saying that when Jeffree was trying to start something, in those times, he was not the multimillionaire that he is today, and he was trying to start something new, and things weren't working out for him, and he felt like he couldn't do things completely on his own, you know, like draw crowds completely on his own, or, you know, he felt like he could use more exposure, more like, you know how YouTubers today use collaborations to help diversify and expand their audience of followers and supporters, right? think of it that way with him going back on tour with Dahvie Vanity. And I hope I'm saying that guy's name right. Like, again, I haven't looked into stuff. Is Dahvie, like Davie? Don't know. I'm saying Dahvie, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. With the Lovers card being in reverse, this is talking about a partnership that wasn't like this. So what I'm seeing here, before I even go on to these two cards, is what it looks like. The cards are not confirming 100% that Jeffree saw with his own eyes something illegal happening. It's not confirming. It's also not denying that. The cards have not yet confirmed or denied that Jeffree Star did in fact see something with his own personal eyes that was illegal. But the cards are saying that he was aware of it. He had heard the rumors. He knew people were making allegations like that. He knew that that was something in the atmosphere around it. And yet, he felt the need to go on tour again anyway, because he felt like, this will be good for me. This will be great exposure. I want to say, again, correct me if I'm wrong, did someone say it was like going on a Warped Tour? Like, you know, something that was pretty hyped up, well-known, big? It's like, you know, yeah, I don't want to pass up an opportunity like that, partnering up with somebody like this and taking that kind of an opportunity. That's how I can get exposure, and that's how I can, you know, really get out there and do things, because he was more insecure back then. This card suggests that Jeffree was more insecure back then. And that he really felt like this was going to be something that would be helpful to his career. With the Wands cards, Wands are often career cards. This card with the Ten of Wands in reverse says it wasn't worth it. So whatever he did it hoping that it would make a big difference for him, but it ended up not being worth it. Because the Death card, when you see the Death card in reverse, and this is referring to Jeffree because the Death card is also a Scorpio card. The Death card in reverse means not allowing something to end when it really needs to end. When something should be over and it's not, you're not letting it end. So Jeffree knew, allegedly, about these rumors and allegations, and he chose to do the Warped Tour or whatever it was anyway because he felt like it would help his career. And he was more insecure back then than he is now. And he, at some level within himself, knew that there wasn't really that great of a relationship or that tight of a relationship with he and Dahvie, but he wanted to keep it going past its life, you know, past its expiration date per se, anyway, in hopes that it would help, and the burden was not worth bearing. It wasn't worth it, is what this is showing. So for some people, that may give people some empathy into what he went through. For some people, they're like, screw that. You're just so concerned about your career that was more important than the information you knew. You know, so there's going to be people from both camps, and there may be people who are kind of in between the two. You know, there's that. So, so that answers if he knew what was going on and why he went back on tour. Now, the remaining question that people have asked is, why did he tell Petty Page that, you know, no, Dahvie Vanity is disgusting and he belongs in prison and I don't support that and blah, 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 and I never did, you know, why are there conflicting statements? Does he really think that he never supported that? Is he lying? Is there some kind of fakeness? Like, what's going on around that? So, let me pull these up and see what's going on around that. We'll look into this further with that. Let me reshuffle. Okay. Shuffle a few times. And we'll take a look like what's up with this flip-flopping. Woo! That one jumped out. Here we go again with that card. Isn't it familiar? Which, honestly, seeing this card again, it's not really a surprise. Okay. So, yeah. Alright. Okay. So, what we're seeing here, in terms of going back now and kind of claiming that he didn't say it and yada yada yada, there are a lot of reasons why that's happening, actually, why he's doing that. So people are like, you know, I don't know what to believe. This suggests that he did know something, but he's going back on that intentionally. He has very intentional, specific reasons, again, allegedly, for going back on the things he's said, for backtracking. And these are the reasons. One, he feels like, you know, he didn't like seeing how he was back in those times because he looks at that as being, you know, desperate type energy, which now, being on top of the world, you know, to him, it's kind of like, I was so, you know, young and destitute and desperate, and I don't like seeing that side of myself. So that's one aspect. Two, remember, the star card was about him wanting forward movement. He's a very driven, ambitious person. Even Jeffree Star haters could say that. You know, he seems to be a very driven person. I'm not sure whether I am either for or against him. I'm not saying one way or the other right now, you know. I don't know if I have like a particularly developed opinion on that. But what I'll say here is that he's a very ambitious person. He's always trying to have some forward movement, and he feels like it will stunt his forward movement if he were to have any kind of ties to Dahvie Vanity. That would be a very bad look. With the Eight of Swords in reverse, this is him being like, oh no, I'm not going to get myself trapped up in that. I'm not going to get myself bound up in that. You know, I'm not going to go down with that ship, basically. Like, you're not going to tie me up and bind me up and take me down with that crap. Hell no. That's what that's about right there. This is saying, I don't want my career to suffer from this. Again, the Wands is sometimes a career energy. I don't want my career to suffer from this. I feel like I've been, you know, gone through the ringer. I've been down enough. I've been hit when I'm down enough. And in some ways, he feels emotionally down right now. I think Jeffree might be going through a lot in his life right now, career-wise and emotionally, by this card. I think so. And so this is kind of like, kicking me while I'm down with one more thing. Like I could deal with one more thing right now. So that's something. And I'm going to say this in the kindest ways with respect, you know, as best as I can. But when you see the Page of Cups here, this means that in some aspects, Jeffree may not be the most emotionally mature person out there. That doesn't mean I am slamming him or hating on him. It just means sometimes okay, here's an example. If somebody gets provoked in some kind of a way, a very emotionally mature person would, you know, take the high road and turn the other cheek and not get into it. Someone who is not super emotionally mature might get into it and start fighting with somebody and be like, I'm going to defend myself because blah, 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 and resort to name calling or things like that. That is a less than fully mature type of energy emotionally. And I don't necessarily say that, you know, a lot of people fit that category. A lot of people fit that category. So again, I'm not trying to just derail him. I'm just saying it's right here in the reading as it relates to Jeffree Star. And, you know, we can all use room for growth on an emotional maturity type scale. We all have room for growth. And that's kind of coming up here. So I do feel like I have to say it. I can say it kindly, but I have to say it. Where this card comes in, the Justice card in reverse. He wants to deny everything and invalidate any possible potential for proof or circumstantial evidence that he knew about things or was around things for legal reasons. He's a smart businessman in that he knows his way around lawyers, and he's been through a legal thing or two, and he doesn't want to be legally tied. Again, this energy, I'm not going down with that ship kind of thing, and lawyers will tell you, even if what's fair or honest is truth, and truth may be something that legally you still couldn't get, necessarily tried for in court maybe, but that truth still could be a bad look legally, still could cause problems legally. So the best legal stance is either to say nothing or deny. It's just a legal thing that to be smart is you either keep your mouth shut or you never say anything that could lead people to make connections. So even if there's proof from his own Twitter that says you did say this, these aren't fake tweets, they're on your own timeline, you did say this, silence or denial is still the best legal option for him. Silence and denial is still the best legal option for him. So that's another reason why he's choosing not to say it. So this does mean that he knows more than what he's letting on that he knows, allegedly. And he got back on tour because it was going to be a good career move for him to do so, he felt like. But he then felt like it didn't quite go the way he wanted or feel the way he wanted, and it didn't end up feeling worth it to him overall. And now he's choosing to either stay silent or deny allegations or connections, because connecting himself in any way, he's like, I'm staying out of that crap. So that's what I see here. Seems pretty cut and dry. It seems fair and reasonable that that's kind of how someone would go, and think about that. So I don't know. Draw your own conclusions about the ethical and moral standpoints as it relates to making these decisions. And what would you do if you felt like, being Jeffree in the past, that it would be a better career move? Would you have done that if you felt like you needed the money or needed a career that bad? Would you, if you were in Jeffree's shoes here, would you be denying things altogether because you felt like that's what I needed to do to stay out of possibly sinking with the ship? I don't want to go down with the ship. I don't want to risk being associated with this kind of thing. I don't want to get into any legal trouble around this. Would you decide that too, or not? That's just kind of what we see on this. So I don't know. I hope that answers the questions that I know y'all asked me about this. So I hope that answered all your questions. If you have any other questions about it and want me to do, a follow-up video to anything, then I'm sure I could make that happen. Just let me know. And if anybody wants a private reading for yourself, then there you go. Email me, beestalksandtarot@gmail.com, and we'll do a private reading for you about whatever it is that you're needing help with or wanting to know. So let me know y'all's thoughts about all of this. Fill me in down there in the comments, because this one's loaded. this one's loaded, and maybe I'll actually start watching some videos or reading something on it, because apparently it's a real big deal, and you know, maybe I should pull my head out the sand and take a look at it. So, alright y'all, well, don't be a stranger, come back and see me, and I reckon I'll talk at you later. Alright y'all, bye guys.